Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Master Division for the St. Patrick's Day tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Before we take a closer look, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that are looking for more guides, more exclusive guides, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We're doing an ultimate tournament guide for Pro Expert and Master, obviously updating when the win changes come during the tournament and such. And you can find the packages through the QR code, or you go through the link patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can find in the description down below. Drummer links always when it comes to the St. Patrick's Day, it seems. And for the adjustments and such, follow the info box on the right hand side for the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. So on hole number 1, we are going to use free-to-play ball, Kingslayer. We're using 10% of the red ring inside the rough line to the left, 5.8 top spin and 2 left spin. So whether you have an extra Apocalypse level 5, 6, 7 or 8, you don't have to change any position. 3 left spin as well, and then we will apply an adjustment that is maximum distance plus 10 power 3 ball settings. Perfect ball, great left, great right are all safe. I would prefer a great right over a great left, as the great left will take us a little bit further away from the pin. Perfect ball it is, and we will bounce on the fairway and over to the other fairway, and we're looking to be somewhere around 375 all the way up to 390. We're gonna work as in the qualifying round. We're gonna work with 2 different references on the second shot. So on the second shot, we work with a rough line reference like back here, or also a rough line reference where the rough meets the fairway, exactly the same as in qualifying round. The only difference is that we are using +4 as our base number. So in this case, we do have +4, which is 8% slider, +5% elevation, P3 numbers, and then we deduct 0.2. Here I want us to favor 1159 if anything, and when it comes to the shorter reference, we mean shorter drive, then we do have +4 at rough line meets fairway at 30% slider, +5% elevation from +4. And same type of setup, red ring by the rough line, 1 right, 1 top spin with our B52, and then we have a perfect is in, is what I would like to say here on hole number 1. Get the guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. On hole number 2, I'm going to play in this case with 3 right spin and with 2.5 bar of backspin. And when it comes to the setup here, I'm looking to have the top of the white ring close to the rough, but as this angle is hard to see the white ring at the top, I'm looking at the tip of the ball guideline to be just by the divide in between the dark and the bright green square row, and the ball guideline pointing towards the pin. Now, I'm swapping to a Guardian here, and the reason for that is that I do want to ensure that we can just use 1 pull. Playing with a Guardian, you play max +20 P2, but for those that do not want to do a club swap, you can still play with a Sniper and play max +25 P2 instead. But the problem with the Sniper is obviously that you have to do 2 pulls if the wind is going to be, let me look, if the wind is going to be above 8 miles per hour, you will have to do 2 pulls, and that's always going to be very tricky. Adding a click of left curl here, this is the yellow angle as I base it off, but with high wind I'm adding a click of left curl as that's aligned with my notes. So in the end, we have a very good chance here on hole number 2 for an hole-in-one. Get the guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. So on the drive here, we can play with either P4 or P5 side spin 3 wind 4 ball. I would strongly recommend to play with a snow monkey ball if you do have that possibility. However, though, I have this video here to display that it is possible with a P4 side spin 3 as well. We're looking for that hole on the fairway. It's hard to see maybe, but you would notice it when you play. At the top of plus 16, which is max P3 line. Max topspin with a POC 7, which is 8 bars of topspin. Have in mind that those playing with a POC 8, you take off a slight amount of topspin, as you do have a little bit more. Now I'm doing overpower whatever I adjust into. However, though, I do want us to go with overpower whatever we adjust into minus half a ring. So in this case, I'm doing a little bit too much overpower because there is a little risk if using this much overpower that I'm doing, that I'm rolling into the rough. Obviously, that's why we have a rescue option as well. But to simplify the whole, play with a P5, side spin 3, win 4 ball, and then you don't have to do any overpower whatsoever. A great left, a double great left has been fine, perfect has been fine, single great right has been fine, obviously with doing the correct pull angle with the correct overpower. A double great right will most likely roll into the rough. So on the second shot here, we are going to use all the right spin together with 2 top spin. And now there's two differences between, or there is a difference between the Cat 7 and the Cat 8 due to the slightly better ball guideline. On the Cat 8, we do want to have the tip of the ball guideline to be just to the beginning of the cup with Cat 8, and Cat 7 just leave approximately 1 green square short, pointing towards the hole. Now this is from plus 8, and we do have our base, or I had my base at max minus 10% P4 numbers from the plus 8 base here. However, though, I do want us to have it from plus 7, and the reason for that is that I do slightly under adjust here. It's a bit unlucky, obviously, but so plus 7 is our base for max minus 10% elevation P4 numbers. Bounce is very centered on the fairway, so there is no reason to be afraid of a great ball. Speed is perfect. The only thing that I could add here is that if you happen to fall down into the bunker, add 2 clicks of overpower to compensate. Get the guide on patreon.com/golf-tommy. Hole number 4, I consider this one to be a really good chance. A 3.5 bar backspin, and I'm setting up with a Spartan ball, which is a P4 ball. If you don't have any Spartan ball, set up with whatever P4 ball you may have to have the ball guideline to the hole and be positioned at the complete minimum distance line. Adjustment here now is always going to be max plus 15 P2 numbers, and this is what we will classify in the guide as the yellow angle. I'm looking at the first rock in this angle, that weird rock or whatever. That's my reference point, and it helps me making the decision if I'm having, you know, no tweak or if I'm going to have to do any tweak. Center the ball, hit perfect in yellow angle. We're not using any curl whatsoever, and I'm keeping no curl here in the 8.2 mile per hour. You can see that we're bouncing fairly close to the rough line. Single great left has been fine. Double great left has clipped the rough. Triple great left obviously is going to clip the rough. It makes total sense. Any great right is fine. Have that in mind on hole number 4. Get the guide on patreon.com/golf-tommy. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides. We are doing a guide for Pro, Expert, and Master Division for the St. Patrick's Day tournament as per usual. We're updating for the win changes in all the divisions, and most importantly, have in mind that it's a free entry, so it doesn't cost you any coins to enter. So we do recommend that those that do have the possibility play up on the division. Try a division higher than what you normally play, because that could give you maybe a way to get to the final round or to the weekend round to get yourself a better price just than what you're used to get. We are doing something new as well for the upcoming 18-hole tournament, where we will be going full with a live document to upload as we go with the shots for every hole. Make sure to scan the QR code here on the screen, or you use the link patreon.com/golf-tommy in the description down below. Get yourself a package. We have something for each and every one. Sign up and do like more than 2,000 players has been doing monthly for years now to improve their game to the highest level. So on the drive here, we are looking for starting at the top of +0 or just before +1. Have 10% of the blue ring inside the rough with a POC 7, blue ring by the rough line with a POC 8, 2.5 topspin and 2 right spin. And we're looking to have, yeah, that's basically the only thing that we're looking for. Adjustment is max +10 P3 here, and once we have adjusted, we shall not apply any overpower or curl. If you adjust into overpower, we recommend to use whatever overpower you adjust into, but even in a high wind, that's going to be a very minor amount to use. Perfect ball. And we're looking now to be somewhere around 325 to 332 yards. Have in mind that we're playing ourselves a bit more right than we did in the qualifying round, which gives us a bit more room on the second shot. So for the second shot, we're gonna do a rough and rock check here, where the rough meets the rock. +1 is that, as you can see there on the video. 3 left spin and 1.7 top spin. It's a heavy 1.7. But I judge that to be 1.7 topspin. Ball guideline to go through the hole, 2 green squares through the hole. So tip of the ball guideline to be the main focus here. When it comes to, you know, lower levels B52, we can take a closer look here. So B52 in a lower level, it has slightly less ball guideline with B52 5 and 6. I would recommend to go approximately like not 2 green square, but around 1.8 green squares through the hole to compensate for the lesser ball guideline. Adjustment is made. We do have a base of -2, which is +2, which is -5% elevation, 12% slider, hit perfect, and this is gonna drop for a nice little eagle layer on hole number 5. Get the guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. So on the drive here, we're gonna go with max topspin of a tee, and we're going to look here now to stretch out to see the ball guideline being centered on the second fairway. We release, and then we're adjusting max +15 P5 numbers. Adjustment is going to be made, and then we will be pushing up to absolute very max here. And the reason we want to push up to max is due to the fact that we do want to go as far down as possible. Max overpower with obviously a shaky needle. Great left is way better than a great right, so those of you that are playing a lot of great rights with overpower, we would recommend here to go with some left curl, maybe an inside wall left curl or maybe outside wall left curl, just to compensate. On the second shot, we play with our B52, and now we're gonna do a fringe check here, where the fringe meets the fairway aligned with the pin. 3 backspin, 2 left spin, and you can see there that okay, so the reference that we are going to use is that we're going to use +9 as a reference. Ball guideline through the hole, approximately 1.5 green square. And from the +9, we use 88% slider with a 20% over adjustment P5 numbers. So it's a lot of adjustment, and we will be making 2 pulls here to make sure that we're getting the correct amount of range. This is a tough drop. Don't think anything else. It's an aggressive drive that we're playing down there to have a more and a better line towards the pin. We're getting to drop dead center from Albatross. So, hole number 7. This is a money shot, in my opinion. I know I should maybe call it money shot, but I like to call a money shot when I'm not missing this one with a perfect. So, we're using 1 right spin and 0.9 backspin, 2 clicks from the 1 backspin. Now, looking at having the right side of the ball guideline arc rolling over the right side of the cup. Now we're gonna play with a small 1159, and that's also from where we're checking the wind angle. This video here is headwind angle, which is going to be the blue angle in the guide. And now we are paying attention to one thing, which is, do we adjust down into that bunker or not? If we don't in this angle, then we're using 2 clicks of overpower. If we would adjust down into that bunker, we're using 4 clicks of overpower instead. This obviously to compensate for falling down to a lower point in that rough. So in the headwind angle, the overpower is crucial if you want to drop this one. If you do have a more crosswind angle, there is no need for any overpower if you don't drop down into the sand. Then we are just playing as normal, and it's still going to be money. So let's hope for a crosswind angle so we don't have to go with the clicks of OP. So on option number 1 here, we're going to stretch out to max with the rock, white ring by the rough line, and we're switching to Thor's hammer. Max topspin and max topspin boost, half a bar of right spin, and we're using a smash ball. If you do not have the smash ball, you can set up with a katana in the same way, then you swap to a face-off ball after that. This is the tailwind angle. And if you are interested in the crosswind angle, then please take a look at that video in the guide. Adjusted max minus 10% P2 numbers, and in the tailwind angle, we're not going to go with any type of push-up. So you can see here I'm using the transparent line that goes from the peg down towards the ball to have the left side just by the edge of the triangle. Perfect ball, and it bounces on the fairway, on the fairway, on the fairway, into the rough and roll out. Tailwind angle is obviously the best thing for us to have, because then we will have no problem in doing this way in a consistent way. The crosswind angle, especially in low wind, we are just going to creep out on, and not just, but we are going to creep out on the fairway by the green. But let's, save that to the crosswind angle video. Get the guide on patreon.com/golf-tommy. On the drive, we start with the quarterbacking complete max distance with the blue ring by the rough line. Once we have found that spot, we are switching to a POC and catalysm and bag. Doesn't matter what level catalysm we are having, that club can be used. The 2.8 top spin and 2 right spin adjustment is going to be max plus 10 P4. Max plus 10 P4, and then we will apply a curl that is 1 ball to the right. And you will notice here now with our first bounce, there is no issues with a great left or with a great right, and the rollout as well has accounted for that if we do have any accidental overpower as well, because we definitely have some yards up there towards the end of that fairway. So nice safe drive to 334 yards, and the yardage is actually important, because if we do have a drive that is longer than 330, then we will be doing a pullback with 1 ring on our second shot. So on the second shot here with the luminary, we're gonna blast it over. Have in mind here that you can hit great left, great right on the second shot and you will still be on green. This is obviously a tough alba to get, but it's definitely a chance. We are working on a topspin boost play in the team, but that will take some time. So 4.4 topspin, 1 right spin. We're stretching out to max to have the ball guideline falling down, as you can see there on the video. Adjust max plus 20 P5, and as instructed after the drive, if you have a drive longer than 330 yards, we pull back 1 ring after the adjustment. Max overpower with a slow-ish needle. It's not slow, but it's not fast either. Try to hit perfect, and the ball will bounce on the fairway nicely. And in this case, we're coming in a little bit too hot, so we don't really catch that slope as we would like, but it's still going to be a safe eagle for us in the end. So hole number 9, tough wind of tee, definitely an outside chance for an albatross, but I wouldn't count on it. Get the guides on patreon.com/golf-tommy. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Master Division for the Drummer Links in the St. Patrick's Day tournament here in 2023 year's version of the St. Patrick's Day tournament. Make sure to scan the QR code here on the screen, or you go directly to patreon.com/golf-tommy through the link that is in the description down below. There you'll find all our packages, and we do have something for each and every one. Tour play, tournament play, doesn't matter. Check it out and you will see that you will find something that will help you improve your game even more when it comes to this technical and fun game called Golf Clash. Thank you so much once again for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in the St. Patrick's Day tournament.